Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for another edition of Info Nuggets with Amy. Today we'll be talking about the Opposing Viewpoints database. Well, let's go ahead and get started.
Info Nuggets with Amy. Time to go on a journey. So join her to learn online. Free knowledge if you have the time. Ebooks to genealogy. So visit SJC Library.
Hey everyone, welcome. I'm glad you're able to join me today. Today we'll be talking about the Gale Opposing Viewpoints database, where you can access viewpoint articles, topic overviews, statistics, primary resources, links to websites, and full-text magazine and newspaper articles. This database is fantastic both for students who are maybe working on debate assignments, maybe they're doing pro-con papers, or it's also really good for adults who are looking to see both sides of a different issue. There are many different topics that you can find in the news today where there are definitely varying viewpoints, and it's always important to understand both sides of a story. I have prepared a most excellent quote that I'd like to share with you. Every truth does have two sides. It is well to look at both before we commit ourselves to either. This comes from the fable The Mule by Aesop. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to access this fantastic database. First, we're going to start off here on the library's website, www.sjcpls.org. From here, we're going to hover over eLibrary and then come down over to Databases. We do have a rather lengthy list of databases. They are in alphabetical order. The one that we're looking for is going to be found in the G section where all of the Gale databases can be found. And the one that we want is Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints. We'll go ahead and click on that. And we'll come to a card authentication page. Well, if you're accessing this from home, you will. And you'll just need to go ahead and type in your library card number. So let's go ahead and look a little closer at this database. So there's a lot of different topics that you can go ahead and just type into the search bar, and it will generally come up with a list of suggested titles. I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, and that doesn't always go well for me. So as you'll see here, as I'm typing in coronavirus, I see a lot of different subcategories related to coronavirus. And we can click on any of those, and it'll bring up a lot of great information. What we can also do, especially if you're a student who's looking for a topic and you're not quite sure yet what it is that you want to do, you can click on Browse Issues. And you will see so many different issues that we can choose from. The one that we're going to use today as an example during our searches is identity theft. That's always a topic that is of utmost interest to people, especially since so many of the different services that we can do online now, one of the biggest hazards is identity theft. On one hand, it's really great that we can do our online banking so easily, but unfortunately it makes it easier for other people to take advantage of us. So here, when we first click on the title of the subject, identity theft, we have a general description or overview of the topic. Now this information, it'll tell you right up here when the copyright date, who published it, document type, right here it's an overview, length, it's about 1,700 words, and content level. Content has 5 different categories within Gale products, and they go by Lexile ratings. Here's a little overview of their different content levels. So level 1 is lower elementary, level 2, upper elementary, level 3, good for middle school, level 4, appropriate for high school, and level 5 is high school and above, so many adult topics. And here we'll see that this one is rated a level 5 for adults. It will go ahead and give us the overview with links to other pages or related articles. If we wanted to, we could go ahead and click on Translate and translate it into a different language. We can adjust the font size. We can also listen to it and have an automated reader read the information to us. We have links to Google Drive, Microsoft Cloud, email, or download. Off to the right, we have different articles like this. So if we wanted to maybe brainstorm some different types of subjects to research, we have items over there. Our article contents gives us different subject headings to lead out to other related topics and other related subjects right here. And it will go through and give you a very thorough overview of a topic before you do some deep diving into your research. Down at the bottom, it gives you the citation. So if you are a student and you're doing this for a paper, this is a very easy way for you to cite your citation. It automatically defaults to MLA formatting, but you do have the choice between APA or the Chicago style formatting as well. And it will just automatically go ahead and format it appropriately depending on what it is that you need. And if you are using any sort of citation software in conjunction with your research tools, there's a bunch of different softwares that you can export the citation to as well. Let's go back. We'll click on previous page and we'll take a look at some of the other things that were coming up. So beyond just the overview, underneath is when we start to get to the really good stuff. We have featured viewpoints, all of the viewpoints, primary sources, magazine articles, reference items which come from books, images, newspaper sources, infographics, videos, academic journals, statistics, audio files, and recommended websites. Let's take a look first at the different viewpoints. And viewpoints, let's click on the general one. This is where you get your pro-con approaches. You have a topic and you have some supportive articles either for or against the topic. So for example, let's see here, like fighting cybercrime is a shared responsibility. Or does cybercrime pose a serious problem for security? And here we have thing that, for example, growing medical identity theft puts patients at risk. And another article, electronic medical records do not increase identity theft. So you'll see that there's very hard stances, very yes or no, black or white sort of approaches to various subjects, and sometimes you need to know both sides in order to fully understand a concept or topic. Let's go ahead and click on one of these. Let's go ahead and just click on the top one. And this looks similar to what we saw with the overview in that it gives us the author, the date, who the publisher was, the length of the essay, content level, so this is appropriate around for high school or higher, and it gives you the commentary. Also, it gives you some questions to really think about as you're going through the article to help you better understand and sort of synthesize the information that you come across. We'll also see up here we have some handy, ready links to either cite, send to, download, print, get a link, so this will provide you with a permalink if you need to share it with somebody. Or you can also do highlights and notes. You do have the capability within opposing viewpoints to sign in and create an account. You can do so with Microsoft, Google, or you also have a link up here to connect with Google Classroom if you are a user of Google Classroom. So if I wanted to create my own account, I could go ahead and highlight notes as I come across them, and then later on when I log in again, those highlights and notes would still be there. So let's go back, and this is a list of all of the different viewpoints. They have some featured viewpoints, kind of the best of the best that they've curated and pulled aside to really highlight the topic. These are the ones that you would probably be most interested in. Now let's go ahead and click here on reference. When you're in a Gale product and you see the term reference, what they indicate is that the information primarily came from a book, something that's been published in book format, and then has just been digitized and added to this collection. So for instance, let's take a look. like at this one, preface to Has Organized Crime Moved Online? It's come from Organized Crime, and it lists the editors on there. And it was published in 2014. It's from a particular series. Gale does also publish print books, not just online databases. And if you ever struggle with how to cite print material that's been digitized, again, it's great that it does the citation for you right here at the bottom. I love that. So we have a whole bunch of different resources that came from books. We can also sort them. It defaults to relevance, but you can go by newest, document title, or even content level. So if you wanted to start with the level 5 stuff right at the top, you can do that. Over here on the right, you can also filter your searches according to publication date, subject, document type, content level, Lexile measure, publication titles, or you can search within your search. So that was reference. We also have infographics, and many of these are interactive infographics. So let's go ahead and click on this one, Fears Regarding Cybercrimes and Conventional Crimes Among U.S. Adults, 2017. This one does not appear to be infographic, but it's sort of interactive, but it does give you a really good idea of what people are most concerned about in regards to cybercrime. And statistics and infographics always look great in papers. We do also have a statistics category over here. So this one is information on credit and debit card info that was hacked at Target. So there's an infographic that you could go ahead and use in your paper, properly cited, of course. We also have primary sources, images, if you wanted to use any images in a presentation or within a debate. We have videos, if you would like to watch any of those to get some further information. Audio files, many audio stories, and I believe most of these come directly from NPR. So if you'd like to listen to any stories or interviews about a particular topic, you can click on something and it will link you directly to it. Yeah, it looks like most of these are from Morning Edition or from All Things Considered. So you have the transcript of the interview right here, but you could also click on play audio to listen to the story. So let's go back. We also have magazine articles. Again, this one defaults to relevance, but let's change that one to newest and take a look at some of the articles in here. So here we have the most recent one, February 2020. It's an article from Newsweek on tips on how to create a hack-proof password you'll actually remember. This is something that I definitely need to read later on. And again, we can just click on it, and it will give us the full text of the article with the ability to email it to yourself if you want, to either share it with somebody or to read it later. That was magazine articles. We also have here over 1,800 news articles. Most of these will come from newspapers, or I think most of these are newspapers. Let's go ahead and do newest again. We'll resort it. So this one was just July 19th. So this was just last week. And that one comes from the Sun Herald from Sydney, Australia. We have one here from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, CNN. News sources are pulled from all sorts of different locations. And again, we can just go ahead and click on any of the titles and it'll bring up the full article for us. Again, with links to similar items or related subjects. Let's see here, that was news articles. And then we have academic journals. Academic journals have a slightly higher stringent way of either editing or peer reviewing their information. So academic journals are really good for a stronger look at a particular topic. And as you'll see, all of these are rated level 5, so they're definitely rated for high school level or college. And it indicates next to each of these that these are peer-reviewed articles. These are usually a little bit longer. For instance, this one's almost 13,000 words. That will give you a more in-depth look into a topic. What we also have is websites. When we click on this, it's going to bring us to some recommended websites. So we have, for instance, an anti-phishing working group, Elder Financial Protection Network, Medical Identity Fraud Alliance, Online Trust Alliance, and the Identity Theft Council. So this is good for finding additional information on other associations or organizations that might be able to assist with either research, or if you're unfortunately finding yourself a victim of identity fraud, these might be some other people to reach out to. So overall, this is a fantastic database, and what I really like about these Gale databases is that it's curated information. You can Google your research and you might find some really good sources on there, but with Google you have to constantly be second guessing who some of these resources are coming from. You always have to research the research that you've conducted. With Gale, at least, these are curated items. They're pulling them from reputable news sources. Many of these articles are peer-reviewed, so that just takes off the additional burden of having to go and do even further research to see if what you found is actually legitimate or not. And they have, as I showed you earlier in the browse issues, they have every single controversial issue known to man that you can find in here. Great if you're a student, but also in these times when there are so many different things coming up in the news and you don't know what to think, at least you can have a resource for seeing both sides of very important issues that do affect all of us. So let's go ahead, and we are still doing our adult summer reading program, so if you're joining me here today to get a secret code, here it is, Best Summer 22. That's your secret code for the 2020 St. Johns County Public Library System Adult Summer Reading Contest. If you have the Read Squared app, you can go ahead and enter in Best Summer 22, and you can get additional points to use to potentially win fabulous prizes. So I just want to thank all of you for joining me today. If you ever have any questions and you follow up, if you want some more clarification about how some of our databases work, feel free to contact us at sjcpls@tblc.libanswers.com. This email address is staffed by multiple librarians who will be very happy to help you with whatever research that you might have. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook. We are SJCPLS. Or also on YouTube. We are SJC Library Vid. We have quite a few playlists on there, and there's many info nugget episodes for different database tutorials, so if you'd like to learn more, check us out at SJC Library Vid on YouTube. Otherwise, thank you all very much for joining me today, and I hope to see you later. Bye.